All right, guys, welcome back to Nate's Bow Hunting. Last week we were talking about getting out on public land, this season opener, getting the blind out on public land. I'm getting the TidWe out with my 13-year-old. I put some cameras out there. I already got some nice bucks for him. Nothing that I want to shoot yet, but literally did some scouting, found some real good buck sign, threw a cell camera out there, got a picture of 2 nice bucks first day. So the work is done on my property. Now we're talking cell cameras, and it's just fun seeing big buck pictures come in. Let's be honest, there's nothing better. I'd rather see that than watch any football game or basketball game or baseball game on TV. Seeing a picture of a 180, 200 inch deer come in on your land, nothing beats it. That's better than any Super Bowl in my opinion. If you love chasing big bucks, well, this is the channel for you. I don't own hundreds of thousands of acres. I didn't move out to Iowa. I hunt 2 small family farms here in Wisconsin. And we're going to talk about everything from food plots and hunting strategies to take down the biggest buck in your neighborhood. Probably going to tell you guys, a lot of you aren't going to believe or think I'm crazy, but it's the fact of the matter. A little target shooting out here. We got a little rain, a little drizzle coming down. Just got to fast forward about a month into October and we're ready to go, guys. I'm getting excited. If you're serious about taking down nice bucks every year, bow hunter or gun hunter, we're going to talk about how many trail cameras you should be running on your hunting land per acre. Obviously, some guys have 5 acres they hunt, some guys have 5,000 acres they hunt. So there's a wide range there. Well, what I'm going to tell you is probably going to surprise you about how many trail cameras you should be running on your land if you're serious about taking down big bucks every year and taking down the biggest buck in your neighborhood, whether that's a 100-inch buck running around or a 200-inch buck running around. Whatever that may be, there is a number of trail cameras that you should be running. And that number is however many you can afford. I'm dead serious, guys. No joke. You should be running literally as many trail cameras as you can afford. Now, don't take out a home equity loan. Don't file bankruptcy because you bought a bunch of trail cameras because you watched this video. It gets me to the point, you know, how many times have you guys been hunting and you'll encounter a buck, especially like November when these bucks are traveling for miles and miles, not core bucks. You'll be out there hunting, you'll see a deer you never recognized before and you won't get them on any of your cameras and you got 5, 6 cameras in there. That shows you how many deer you're missing. I mean, you could literally throw a trail camera on 20 acres. You could throw 20, 30 cameras out there and I guarantee you're still gonna miss some bucks. A lot of these guys, big name guys you watch on TV, they have hundreds of cell cameras. I'm not kidding you. I've talked to a few of them and just followed them, and these guys got like hundreds of trail cameras. Granted, they have a lot more land than me. They have hundreds, thousands of acres they're hunting, but they literally will have 10 cameras on one food plot, no joke. So don't think you have too many trail cameras. If you can fit it into the budget, you know, cancel a few nights out with the boys. Oh, Nate, you know, trail cameras, 100, 150 bucks. That's a lot of money. You're gonna get a lot more enjoyment out of that trail camera than you do out of one night at the bar or going out to eat. So keep that into perspective. It's all how you prioritize things. I'm not rich at all, guys, and I have a lot of trail cameras because I know it's gonna help me take down these big deer. All right, so I want to hear from you guys. How many trail cameras or cell cameras do you run on your land? And how many acres do you own? Because obviously, the more land you own, the ratio evens out. I'm a firm believer. Get as many cameras out there as you can afford within reason. Obviously, I'm not going to buy 100 cameras on my 15 acre, my 5 acre farm I hunt, but 15, 16 cameras on these 2 small farms. So, and it seems like I add a few every year. So been doing some property land consultations, helping guys out with food plots, stand placement, access, etc. So I hear all kinds of things about trail cameras, but I always like hearing what other people are doing and what works for you guys. It's September here. The bucks are doing their fall shift. Every morning I wake up now. This may seem kind of crazy or sad to some people, but literally every morning I get up. If you can remember back when you're about 8 to 12 years old, it's Christmas the next day, parents put you to bed and it's Christmas morning. The next morning, you know, you can open up those presents to get that remote control truck or whatever you want to play with. Remember that feeling you get when you wake up Christmas morning? I get that feeling almost every morning this time of year, September, October, and early November. You can have that big remote control truck, aka 160, 180 inch buck show up overnight, or you can have nothing under the tree as well. But just that feeling I get, I love. So I'm not saying you need them, but I'm saying I love having them. I love taking an inventory because I always want to kill one of the biggest deer in my area. I want to know what's all out there. You know, if I got a 160, 180, 200 inch deer to chase, or several of them, I'm probably going to pass that 120, 130, or 140 inch buck. But if a 140 inch, 4.5-year-old's the biggest I got, there's a good shot he's going to be getting taken down that year. So for me, it's an inventory thing, knowing what other bucks are out there so I know what bucks to pass and what bucks not to pass. That, and I just love getting trail cam pictures and, you know, sharing with a few guys, you know, what does he score, how old is he? And like I said, I know some guys that have been hunting a lot longer than me and take down big deer every single year, and they don't run any trail cameras. I know some guys that don't want to do the cell cameras because they think they're cheating, and teach their own. I'm not on that bandwagon, but if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And then I know some guys that love cell cameras, utilize them to the best of their ability, keeps the pressure off their land, and are very successful. You know, some guys got 2-3 cameras out and they're happy with that. How many do I run? Well, I got all ag out here. I literally have about 5 acres of hunting land other than this cornfield out on this property. I think I'm up to 6 or 7 cameras on this 5 acres. And the other farm I hunt is about 15 acres. And I have 8 or 9 cameras out there. So you're saying 8 or 9 cameras on 15 acres, Nate? You're crazy. You know, what's the need for that? Well, I found out firsthand last year. I shot a real great buck last year, a real nice 10-point. But one of the bucks I was targeting, an absolute giant buck. I'm not even going to show a picture of this thing. I had this buck walk through my shooting lane at 35 yards, and I watched that buck walk behind my cell camera that I had on a fence post. I'm sure he's done it before. He obviously knew that camera. I didn't recognize the buck at first, and I just knew it was a shooter, and I'm trying to get my camera set up and grab my bow. I was hoping he'd walk in front of that camera so I could get a better look at him. Well, neighbor ended up killing him up the road, so I got a real good look at him. But this buck had some distinct characteristics where I knew it was him. My point being, a lot of the properties I've been to, guys I've talked to, some of their mature deer will pick up on these trail cameras, and that goes to trail camera locations. I always have my trail cameras at least, I'm 6'1", at least I would say 6'6", 7 feet up in the tree. Since I started doing that, I spook way less big deer. I used to get one picture of a big deer and he'd be at the camera looking, and that would be the one and only picture I'd get of him. You know, they remember that. And then I know some guys, they say, hey, they put their trail cameras waist height in their food plot, and they'll have a 180 inch deer come to it every day. So it all depends on the buck's personality. It all depends how much human pressure is in that area you can get away with as far as trail cameras. But I always play it on the air of caution, right? What's it hurt putting that trail camera up high, putting it on bigger trees? I won't even put them on fence posts anymore. At least this big in diameter, so it blocks the outline of that trail camera. Similar to being in a big tree bow hunting. What trail cameras do I run? I run Browning, and I just started running some Spartans this year, so I run both. A lot of guys don't run the Browning, but I'm telling you guys, the new Browning that are HD all the time, put a link in the video. You can get them for $99 right now. All HD photos all the time, and they work great. I'll show some pictures, great day pictures, great night pictures, and for $99, that's pretty darn good. Best thing I like about Browning, they're not the most popular, but anytime any of these cameras have had a problem, I need to upgrade my plan, anything, I call customer service. I actually get to talk to someone on the phone, and they fix that problem right away. So check out Browning. I'm not sponsored by Browning, but I love Browning. Spartan, just started running them this year, have 0 problems with it. Main reason I got Spartan is for the video quality. High definition, their video quality is awesome. So they're a little bit more money. No problems with them so far. I love my Spartans. I love my Brownings. I've had my Brownings for 4 years, I believe, the Defenders. And I think You know, I've had 14, 15 of them. Only one camera has gone bad on me in 4 years. The rest are still going strong. And I run Energizer lithium batteries in those things. And I get them out in August, and they're good right up till January, and I get a lot of deer pics. There's something to be said for that too. So that's what cameras I run. A lot of people getting on the whole reveal thing. A lot of people run reveals. A lot of people run Tacticams. If you got the money, the Reconics. It doesn't really matter. I don't care what cameras you're using. It matters how many you got and where you're putting them. Obviously, this time of year, a lot of food. Food is key. I got some cameras set in some thick bedding that these big bucks are only gonna run come the rut loop. Other good locations on scrapes and where I call it a rut loop, where those big bucks, if you guys have been hunting your property for a while, you know they take the same routes year after year. Get the cameras out there. I won't be going into my properties until I'm ready to take down a big buck. I get a lot of night pictures right now. I already have a target acquired. Got a real nice one that I have some history with that showed up, so I'm super excited. But I know the reality of it is, as far as getting that buck in daylight, it's probably gonna be mid to end of October before I get a crack at him. And that's when I'm gonna strike. That's when I'm moving in. I'm gonna spend some time on some public hunting land with my son, and I got 2 cameras out there, so I know I'm gonna miss a lot of deer. But if there's a giant out there, you can be sure I'm gonna bring my bow with as well. So one big apple. This is this apple's tree's 2nd year, so he's doing pretty good. I got one giant apple. This isn't for the deer, this is for me. My house is right behind me. The trees I planted behind the house and the other property, they're growing like weeds. We had a real wet year, so they're doing really well. In years to come, I will have a trail camera on those apple trees. You can bet on that, because the deer love these apples. Easy way to improve your property right there. We gotta cut some trees. We did some hinge cutting. Danny likes watching Dad cut trees, so he wants to cut some trees down and be just like Daddy, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that I talked you guys into maybe buying a few more trail cameras, and I hope it leads to you taking down that giant buck you're after this year. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.